Hi there all, Sibren here again. Thanks for joining us on this episode. We got a great one for you today. We are with Ryan. He's a well-experienced deal packager in South Wales. He's got some great stories and experience, so stay tuned for it.
Awesome. So my journey is from zero to where I am now, doing very well with it. So watch the video and I'll show you exactly how my journey's unfolded.
Hi there all, Sibren here again. Absolute pleasure to be here as always. Now I wanted to get one more quick interview in before I go away for a week, and Ryan has kindly said that he would jump in and talk about his story, his experiences, what he does in property, what he finds out, what's going on out there, what's going on with the market. So I thought this would be a great conversation to have. So,
absolutely.
Do you want to introduce yourself, Ryan?
So, as you said, my name's Ryan. Been in property for several years now, but I have a property investment company, property sourcing company, which is only a couple of years old in reality. So it's been a bit of a journey up to this point, really.
Yeah, I like it.
So, yeah.
Ryan's doing some great things right now. I know he is, because obviously we talk a lot.
Harass each other every day.
Yeah, definitely. But if you want to talk a little bit about your personal life before you got into property, what did you do, essentially?
So, ironically, I've actually got one of my engineering tops on right now, which is a bit of a coincidence. So, I was an electrician for 8 years, apprenticeship, everything, and that was going to be my future for the next 50, 60 years. And then I realised it just wasn't for me. Ironically, the same as some of your past interviews, I've noticed a bit of a trend with engineers. They like it, but not as a long-term thing.
Yeah, definitely.
But I ended up buying a residential property, buying a buy-to-let through having the money have come in of engineering of my normal day job. But I find that a lot of engineers don't necessarily see themselves being at the hat for the next 30, 40 years. And that was definitely me. So, yeah, chosen a different path and absolutely loving it, not going to lie.
Yeah, nice.
So, yeah.
So what in terms of training, what did you do to become an engineer, just out of curiosity?
So I got very lucky because when I was about 19, I had no goals, no ambition. I just played video games all day, didn't really have any target in mind. I don't know, I was going to swear on this camera then, I didn't want to. I didn't really care much.
Yeah.
And I just kind of slept all night and just kind of did whatever. And typical 19-year-old stuff. And then my dad kind of saved me actually, because he kind of came in one day from a business meeting. He was working for an engineering company. I got to talk to the camera talking to you.
That's
So he came in one day. I was sat playing FIFA one day, and he came in and said, "Look, I've got this apprenticeship opportunity for you." I thought, oh, cool. Don't know. Shrugged the shoulders. Like,
get on with the FIFA.
Cool. Sorry, Messi's on, mate. Messi's on. But I mean, that's pretty much exactly. I was like, and then get a bit more chocolate and popcorn, you know.
Yeah, that's it.
But yeah, so and then I did that completely blind. Went into it. Hated the first year, absolutely hated it. I bullies, typical engineering. So any engineer knows, the first year of any apprenticeship, you are, if you've seen In-Betweeners, you know what I'm talking about. The first year is just abuse, it's horrible. That was my genuine experience with it. I didn't like it at all. The amount of times I came home crying, to be honest with you, literally, not literally in tears, but like complaining about this and that and whatever. And then I made through that, and then the second, third year improved, got the apprenticeship out the way, and then just cracked on from there really, and just it was a very it was a long-term thing where I got the engineering course there, paperwork, certificate, blah blah blah, set for life, easy.
Yeah.
And it became a bit over time black and white, but at the time it was very very good, convenient.
Yeah, because that's security, but then you sort of develop and learn more, don't you, once you go on?
It took a lot of time. You know, I literally had that security for years. And I my parents loved me because they kicked me out at 22 once they realised I could afford so. So I bought a house in the Valleys for about 60 grand.
Yeah.
Didn't know about mortgages, didn't know anything about anything. And it was just it was run down. It was okay, it was livable. But I lived there on my own, just 1 hour away from everyone. And I mean, we put a new kitchen and bathroom, but that's basically about it. I didn't know anything about anything. And then stayed there for about 2 years in total.
Yeah.
So until the rats came in, and I realised that I wasn't the most hygienic landlord in the world. I was like a 22-year-old kid, just like FIFA still.
Yeah, absolute bachelor pad.
Yeah, literally keep it basic, you know. And
Yeah, man.
So
It sounds really good. So you ended up selling that property, and then buying. Is it any more? This one we're in now.
So
or?
I ended up selling that because I wanted to go travelling. I literally got home one day after I did the apprenticeship, and then I was full on engineer at this stage, and I would come home, and I literally had a really bad day at work, right, which it can happen sometimes, as we all know. I literally got home from work, and I sat down on the computer, didn't think anything of it, and I booked a one-way ticket to Australia.
Crazy.
Logic? No visa, nothing. I had a good income from it. I had literally for me, a good income at the time. You know, I thought I was saving money, about £400 per month. I thought, this is fantastic. But I was that fed up with it. I didn't give it a second thought. I didn't think logically at all.
No.
I just literally booked a one-way ticket to the other side of the planet. And then the rest followed, and then that was about 9 months delay from ordering it to flying out there.
Sometimes that's what you need, though. You just got to jump in it and then figure out the rest as you go.
Yeah, because I'm a traveller.
To get you out, to
100%.
get out of the normality, innit?
Because my long-term goal, to skip a few bits on this, is to be mobile with this. And I believe that that's totally possible.
Yeah.
And my mentor as well, my mentor's mentor, ironically, she's doing amazing things she's going on holiday to Barbados. Anywhere with Wi-Fi, she can work. And she's got a multi-million-pound business, and that to me is a dream. I love working. I love really spending time. Working 7 days a week doesn't bother me. I absolutely love it. But if I can provide security and financial security for my family in future, and even self now, boom, done, sorted.
Yeah.
So I've always had that traveller in me anyway.
Yeah, no, I like that, man. I like that a lot. I think we all got to have goals at the end of it, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's got to be a goal to aim for. You don't have a goal, you don't really know where you're going, there's no direction.
It's that freedom, same as yourself. You know, you go on holiday this month, you could even, we've got deals coming through now, and you could be on a beach in Turkey, and literally just kind of, you know, on the phone saying, yeah, deal sold, yada, yada, yada. I can orchestrate everything in the background. And I think that's absolutely awesome.
Yeah,
you know, so
I like it a lot. In terms of jumping into property, so you obviously had your house, then you decided, right, well, how did you know, this is what I want to do, sort of, this is the direction I want to go?
So to travel, I sold the house. So I sold the house, I pretty much bought the ticket spontaneously, came from work, bought the ticket, and then sold the house there, and then thinking I want to come home, because the idea was to just move to Australia, one-way ticket, literally not to come back, hence one-way. So sell the house, get the profit. I didn't make any money off the property. I literally spent about 10 grand renovating it, and then had 10 grand. I thought I had 10 grand profit at the end. I realised logically it wasn't the case.
No.
But you know, I was 22 years old, didn't have a clue about anything. I didn't know what a mortgage was. I just kind of winged it. Very naive about the whole thing. And then so I went travelling, and then came back, and then came back to the engineering because of COVID. COVID kicked in when I was out there. This is 2019, 2020. And then came back, did the engineering for a few more years. And then after 2 years of getting back into electrics, getting the flow of things, realised I just don't enjoy it. I enjoy the people, I enjoy kind of the security with it, and I can always go back into it. But to be honest with you, I find so many engineers are 50 years old and miserable, and I just don't want that. You know, and they're complaining about payroll and all that, and I'm just like, I love if I go for a higher risk career, work more hours, work harder, and in my opinion smarter. Actually, you can have way more in the long term, because property is long term, whether it's as a company or whether it's an investment. So literally bought a house through that, and then But again, my parents didn't want me at home, so I bought a house. So you can see the trend with this. I'm really loved.
Sounds like your parents don't like you very much.
Yeah, there's a difference between like and love. They love out of family. They like, within like 2 weeks, they're like, right, you gotta go. Because I eat a lot of food, so they were like, yeah, the fridge is empty, off you go. Like,
I just spoke to one mate TikTok Australia. Yes.
And then it's a bit of an issue when your dad's sending you Rightmove links to be like, oh yeah, have you seen this one?
Yeah.
And it's literally like, as long as it's somewhere outside their house, they're happy. Like, so
You're scraping data for you, ready to go.
yeah, literally, it's not even an investment. It's no ROI on it. It's just like, right, just get out. Like, ends up being a shed down the bottom of the road. Like, but yeah. So then I literally got this house that we're doing the interview in now. In a very good area. This because of the bridge and everything. This is in South Wales.
Yeah, definitely.
This is close to Chepstow, and for anyone who doesn't know Chepstow, the bridge toll went 3, 4, 5 years ago, whenever it was.
A few years now.
And the whole area skyrocketed. So I didn't know about mortgages and property and equity and all this. So, but I bought it, renovated it to be livable, and then literally the property went up crazy in value. So I called my broker. I didn't know what I was doing. I just called him up, said, "What does this even mean? Like, what is a mortgage?" I had a 3-hour conversation with my broker, which I didn't even pay him for. It just kind of was just nice about it.
Yeah.
I thought I've actually got quite a lucky broker here. And then he explained, you've got this amount, you can take it out if you want. Interest rates were about 1% or 1.5%, or maybe even 2%, for realistic measurements. And they were crazy low. So I thought, okay, and then you mentioned a remortgage. Alarm bells, like, that's scary. What the hell? Like, a mortgage is this big thing to me.
Yeah.
When you're new to it, and then you realise over time it's just a loan. But at the time, when you're just getting into it, it's a big word, and people can't buy houses because they can't afford it, and they get scared of these things and whatnot. To me, I was very naive, just jumped into it. I was positively naive. Like, I just said, fuck it, like, what could possibly go wrong?
Yeah.
And then so I had residential. And then I bought my dad's buy-to-let off him, and using the equity. And then again, it was just an easy process. Like, it was a turnkey property. I didn't know what a turnkey property was.
Yeah.
I just know it was good to go, good cash flow. Didn't know about interest rates that much. I knew about them, but I didn't know about how low they were during COVID. Like, I was completely naive to that.
Definitely, man.
And yeah, got that, and then. Yeah, I got that a 5-year fixed term, so I'm secure for a while.
Yeah.
But
fingers crossed.
Yeah, fingers crossed. But
changes a little bit, maybe. But
yeah, might be looking to sell that in a few years.
Yeah.
But I didn't say that.
I think it's there's all this big stuff going on that you don't understand, and it seems really scary at the time. Yeah. But as you get educated about it and you understand it, and it's just another thing. It's just another experience or another item or something, and you just get on with it.
It's the same for yourself. Like, when you first get introduced to anything, with this whole deal packaging, I saw this as an apprenticeship, where you're going into it, you don't know terminologies, you don't know how to approach things, you don't know anything, and we're all in the same boat. We all start from absolute zero, and it's when you keep. You find a good mentor or people to surround yourself with, and then you get more comfortable with what this means. And then the irony is, then you end up talking to investors, and then you're actually confident in what you're saying, how to approach things, and it's like a domino effect. You go, and there's always going to be bigger problems. So you go from like learning about a mortgage to then learning about refurbs, and as we both know, refurbs are a fun game with builds and everything.
Man, definitely.
But again, you learn how to approach things. Don't take anything personally ever.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think there's a lot of common thinkings behind it.
Yeah, nice, man.
So,
all good stuff. All really, really good stuff. In terms of a deal, what's a deal? Explain to me maybe what you do for an investor, for a client. What's the process around it?
It might be easiest if we start back at the training, because then I can kind of feed into that.
Yeah, definitely, man.
Maybe, because for me, I started with Aspire, who's a very, very good training company, because I saw Jamie York's videos on YouTube. You'll see how this feeds in. I just think
go for it, man. Definitely.
So like, I started with the training with Jamie York and everything, absolutely fantastic training, and then I've realised I also like I heard about progressive at the end, and I was like, I know I want to do this. I just didn't know what this was, what property trading was, what deal patching was. But then you hear so many stories, positive ones and negative ones, but you kind of drawn into the positive stories, and you're curious about it. And then so I went to that training 18 months ago, probably 2 years ago, whatever.
With Aspire.
With Aspire, and then cracked on with their training. Didn't really know what I was doing, just kind of winged it. Just I talked to a few investors who I thought were investors. In hindsight, they're just kind of people who were just curious to know more about. You don't really know what an investor is at that time.
Yeah, for sure.
And then you kind of, and then went with Progressive, and fantastic. Really glad I went with them. I highly recommend anybody who's looking to kind of get some property knowledge. Where it doesn't have to be deal patching, whatever you want to do. Progressive has it, 100%. And I knew that I wanted to do it. I did the 3-day course with them, and I'll tell you what, it wasn't like, yes, it's sales and everything, but I found that I needed to get a mentor. So I find that every training provider, whoever it is, out of both of them, they tell you what to do, not how to do it, which I don't like, but I can definitely understand why they do it. Because it obviously draws you into needing mentorship, whatnot. But I can honestly say I absolutely love the fact that I did the mentorship. I'm still being mentored now. You know, I'm coming towards the end of it, but you know, I'm very grateful to the people who have been around me. I can be a pain in the ass at times. I absolutely know that. That's for sure. And the same people would definitely agree with that. But you know, but basically the point I'm getting to with it is when you surround yourself with those sort of people. At the start, you don't know what a deal is. You don't know what a deal is. You don't know how numbers stack, what you're looking for. It's like marketing. Say like, I want to do marketing. Okay, but how do you do it? How do you do areas, numbers, type of leaflets, type of, do you do ads? Like, it's like go say, just go market. It's just like, but there's no detail in it, you know. And until you get someone who knows what they're doing or is at least knowledgeable to some degree, you need that backup. You need it. To me, I wouldn't be able to do anything today without having the right people around me. Whether you pay for it, whether it's free, if you pay for it, you got more accountability there. Which is something that I needed.
I agree, man. I think you can do it. The training's good and the knowledge is good and they're telling you what you can achieve. But then when you're actually going through it, you know, to have someone who's done it is so valuable. Whether you paid for it, whether it's you surround yourself with the people, you can do this stuff with just knowing, but it takes longer and you're gonna make a lot more mistakes. But with the mentor, you can like fast lane it. That's what I do believe strongly, is that you can do it all on your own. It will just take longer and you'll learn more from lessons. When you have mentors or you surround yourself with people, you get that faster. You can jump over obstacles much quicker. So
it's like direction, isn't it? You got the right direction. And the amount of times I've been in a difficult situation, especially at the start, and then you've got, like, help. You're literally not saying help, but you're literally saying, like, you know, something's gone wrong, like, panic. And then you get someone to calm you down. Like this is the amount of times I've done this with George, for example, and I've been like, help. And the amount of times now I can sit here and think, okay, in hindsight, I could just relax, analyse the situation, and then go from there. But at the time, you're in panic mode. You kind of, it's the insecurity if you don't know what you're doing. Even though the only way to ever learn anything is to make yourself uncomfortable. Every single good thing that I do now is a result of something I've effed up on in the past, 100%. But you know, it happens to everyone, bro.
I agree, man. I think that's really good to say. So you playing FIFA a lot. To engineering.
The story starts at FIFA. Didn't see that one coming, did you?
Playing FIFA a lot, to engineering, to learning with Aspire, to learning with Progressive, going through the mentorship, taking on a load of stuff. What happened from there? From Progressive, now maybe jumping into the first deal or... because it all starts with the first deal and the excitement of that. And... and it goes back to what you asked about. I don't know how long you got on the recording left, but it goes back to like what makes a deal. And at the start, the amount of times I said to my mentor, George, whoever it was, I got this great deal,
and it just never was.
No.
It never was. You don't actually, like, especially at the start, you don't understand what you're looking
Yeah,
for, and then it takes time to grow and make an absolute ton of mistakes here and there. And I can confidently say now, you know, I saw on Facebook the other day a post from someone who they wrote down their deal or what they were trying to sell, and within a second I know it's not going to sell, or it's not going to sell to most investors because they're not going to rip it out because it's going to have, like, you know, over 20 grand left in the deal. The return on investment isn't high, but it comes from the repetitive experience and experience of kind of understanding it.
And
I'm no
analysing those
expert.
deals.
But when you do it every day, like you're saying with yourself, when you do it every day, you get really quick with it. And especially motivated vendors now. That's
100%. That drives everything.
I know,
Drives
literally.
everything.
That's a starting block, isn't it? As you've recently found out.
Direct to vendor, motivated vendor. You know, you're streamlining that deal.
Yes.
You know, all these complications are gone, and you can get it done quickly. Boom, boom, boom.
It's probably a people game.
Yeah.
Or people system.
Yeah.
People game. Probably wrong way to say it, but it's all about people.
Yeah.
You know, and helping somebody, and if you can find an investor who wants an investment, and someone who's in a bad financial situation, and then help them out, I mean, that's great.
Yeah.
I
Definitely.
literally met someone the other week 2 weeks ago. Literally, they were begging me, not begging me on their knees, but literally saying help. Like, I'm really need this sold now. You know, I want this gone. It's an absolute headache. I've been trying to sell it for months. I said, right, okay, boom, I can help you out. Here's what I can do. Handshake with it. Get everything written out. And within X amount of time, it's done.
Yeah, nice.
And that's a great feeling, you know. You kind of, you have a business, but you're helping someone out of a bad financial situation.
Yeah.
No, I can never say that word. Financial. And then an investor's got a good investment for long term. It's literally a triple win.
Yeah, man.
So
I like it a lot. It is all about, you know, the people's game. People's game. It's a people's business.
it's a bad way. That's the one. I couldn't think of which way to say it.
Yeah. And you know, you build relationships up with people, and you can help everyone out. Everyone can create a win-win situation by adding value and stuff like that. So
Yes.
no, I like it a lot. So we've got go back through your lifetime, going back to the 90s.
I'm gonna the thumbnail's gonna be like a timeline thing.
It is. Start off with FIFA for 2 solid years.
Me
like,
just doing that in the corner, like
pasties and popcorn from Spar, like.
go on, Messi.
But brilliant. So we've touched on Ryan's history, what he's going through, and his educational side of things. Some great tips and stories and education in there. But let's touch bases on a deal that you've done previously, a deal that's still going through now, as they say.
Yeah.
Do you want to elaborate on that?
Yeah, I love how you said it is like what Ryan's going through as if it's like therapy.
From childhood
Is this an
trauma.
interview or therapy? But yeah, so as I said, like from going from knowing absolutely nothing, now we've got consistent deals. We've got, at the moment, we've got 5 going through conveyancing. Actually, no, 6 as of the other day. So that's cool. Whether it be below market value deals, BR deals, so obviously refurb projects or flips. One deal that we got at the moment is the numbers look very good on it. Well, the numbers are very good on it, hence why it's sold, of course. What am I talking? So purchased it for, I believe, 71,000. Refurb's about 28 grand. Which includes management and everything. And then we've got the end values, I think it's about 120, isn't it?
Or 120,
yeah.
pushing 125.
Yeah, so I mean, isn't that great? Like, you can literally buy a rundown property, completely hands-off investment. Like, we manage everything. We do the whole conveyancing for the investor. So obviously with solicitors and everything, make that hands-off. We manage the refurb for them. We have our own brokers and solicitors. We can offer, the entire system, and letting agents as well. If you want a buy-to-let, we have letting agents that we can communicate with. If you want a service accommodation property, we have SA management services we can offer as well. So it's all like a big bundle, hence Deal Packaging, because it's a package. So that's cool, quite helpful for people. But yeah, this particular one, I think it's awesome. You're literally you're helping someone out, getting rid of it, the seller, and then you've got an investor who's going to have 25 grand of equity at the end of it or something.
Yeah, 25k, about 11k left in, I think that deal was
Fantastic.
125.
Sibren knows his
valuation.
numbers,
So-
honestly. I have to write everything down, or otherwise I forget. Honestly, there's too many things going on.
Yeah, no, it was a really good deal.
It was.
It was a
yes.
really good deal.
Yeah,
And
that's very typical for Wales. It's very we're very niched in our area. Like, me and Sibren kind of operate within, to a point, the same sort of areas. And I tell you what, like, I've got probably like a 10, 15 mile radius ish, maybe less. And you've kind of got the same but a different area.
yeah.
And it works very well because the numbers are. I think I've got a higher value area properties.
I think that it's closer to the sort of south of Wales, slightly.
So they're more flippable in that sense, but I feel like yours rent out better because you got better yield in that sense. So you kind of get both best of both worlds in that sense.
Yeah, you do.
And now you get to see how we kind of come together with this whole thing. It's been a very gradual process, but
Yeah.
because I met Sibren. I know Sibren for years, and never thought this would actually happen. Makes us like marriage, Jesus Christ. The shit just This is Sunday vibes, guys. And then Sibren messaged me out of the blue when I was doing some videos on Facebook, and then got in contact that way out of pure curiosity. And then I got to say, well done to you as well for kind of.
Appreciate that.
I had a chat with his sister, who I know from school as well, lovely girl called Alva, and we were both saying like we're proud of you for cracking on your end as well. You know, property is not easy, guys. It's genuinely whatever you do. They say to start off small, i.e. with buy-to-lets and flips or renovations, but regardless of what you do, it's blimmin' hard work. And you've kept going as well on your end.
Yeah, you just got to push. You just got to jump in.
You got to be resilient with it.
Yeah, 100%.
Take nothing personal. So
surround yourself. Get your head in it. I feel like you can't do this as a side hustle. This is this is a jump in the fall.
Yes.
Will be your profession. You just got to dive in, try and learn and soak up as much as you can. So.
And at the start, it's painful, isn't it? At the start, when you don't know anything, you're losing all these leads.
Yeah.
You don't know how to talk to an investor.
Yeah.
Like, you don't know what an investor is. That's one thing that it took me a while to actually understand. I thought anyone who's got a remortgage available, sure, but absolutely not. Like,
Yeah.
you need someone who's ready to go, who's kind of cash rich, ideally.
Yeah.
And that makes a real competent investor, a qualified investor, put it that way.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, that was a learning curve. That took me a while because I'm not a fast learner at all, guys. Honestly, but once you get there, yeah.
It's something that everyone goes through, doesn't it? We all start off with that bit of, am I doing the right thing? Am I wasting my money?
Yeah, for sure.
What am I doing wrong?
Yes.
And everyone goes through it, everyone. And you just got to remember that when you're going through it, because we've all been there, and you will get to the other side. Just keep going.
Yeah, and I tell you what, whether it's education of mentorship, whether it's education of courses, it's not cheap, is it?
No.
But I tell you what, if anyone's interested in property and then they really go for it, in the long run, you will be laughing. You'll get that investment. The ROI on that investment will be so great.
Yeah,
but
I agree that property's a long-term game, and that's whatever 10, 20k that you initially invest in yourself for the education is going to be a massive return long term. Massive return long term.
100%, man. 100%.
So you got property which you want to sit on for as long as you can, and then you got your education. Yeah, it might be costly at first, but then you got that for your whole life again for a lot. We're talking years and years. So, no, really good stuff. We love that deal. I really like that deal.
Yeah, and I mean that's another thing where we counted all our numbers to be completely hands-off service again. For that typical one, we're not going to be doing a refurb, but we've got so many projects coming up. We've got one site to sell in the next couple of days as well.
Yeah.
Fantastic deal we've just jumped on. And, that's roughly the same sort of numbers. Lower purchase, higher refurb, but it's about the same ballpark. And all these investments are over 20% return on investment. Think about what you get in the bank,
Yeah.
So, and then you get the cash for an asset. If you want to make it a service accommodation, that can be looked into if it works.
Yeah.
Obviously, with demographic and area, but...
And then appreciation.
Yeah, and I mean, again, it's a long-term investment, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the compound as well, Albert Einstein, 8th wonder of the world. Or was it 7th? I don't even know.
No,
I lose track.
I can't remember now. I made a video.
I Google it every time because I keep forgetting whether it's 7th or 8th.
7th wonder of the world, because there's 6 wonders in it. Oh, no. I don't know.
I bet we get this wrong. Whatever answer we're confident with, I bet it's wrong.
If you want to put a comment below, tell us what wonder of the
I have to
world
read
is.
in those comments. I like that.
Tell us what it is. I will not Google it after this, I swear.
I guarantee we're wrong, whatever answer you come out with, honestly.
But yeah, no, I like it, man. Really, really good stuff. Thanks for coming down today and being able to talk through it all.
Absolutely.
With us. If there anything more you want to say, or
I mean, for me, it's more just a case of like if South Wales interests anyone, get in contact. You know, your network really is your net worth. And if there's one thing that I know about property, I hear every educational person in property say it, and I didn't believe it at the start, but now I'm going to networking events, and then one person knows you. I sat down at a networking event the other day, and I sat down next to this one guy, and he was really nice, and he said, "I know you. Never met him in my life." But he knew me from social media. I'm like, okay, sure. But it's like, you're laughing at it, but it's like, huh? Like, what the
yeah, man.
So
it definitely does grow as well over time.
Yeah, but you don't even realise how that compounds. So any last comments? Nah, just if you guys are interested in property, get in contact. We're in South Wales. We're finding great investments. And yeah, again, as we said, we offer completely hands-off service. You know, if you're, to us, if you've got money sat in the bank with, even today, you're going to get, what, 3% interest? Yeah, maybe even more.
Yeah,
but then, you know, but if you get an investment that's got 20% plus, and it cash flows, and it's just going to keep appreciating over the next 50 years, and you can literally invest money into that property to pull money back out and then keep accumulating. So you've not got one asset, you've got 5, 6, 7. You don't have to do anything. You've got a letting agent do everything.
Yeah.
I think it's gold dust.
It is, man, definitely. So yeah, with the interest rates, you know, your money sat there might be making some, but inflation will be eating it away. That's just something to always be aware of. And you know, there's good debt and bad debt, and debt is the opposite to inflation. So yeah, all stuff that you learn as you go, isn't it?
Yes.
Very basic economics, but you know,
But it's all factual. It's all factual.
Tidy, man. So if people want to reach out to you, I'll put some links and sort of information in the description below. But you know, do you want to say Facebook, Insta? What are you?
I've got everything. So YouTube, I'm not really. I need to improve on YouTube. I'm not gonna lie. Facebook, I got Ryan Eastley, post all the time. Ryan Eastley Property on Instagram. I absolutely love Instagram. Everyone who I have on Instagram who I'm close with tells me how much I post, and they absolutely find it annoying, but sometimes stuff happens, you know. Not going to apologise for that one. LinkedIn, got Ryan Eastley Property as well. But I'm on everything, to be honest with you. TikTok as well. Every time we're securing deals, every time we've got a new lead coming in, something very positive. Well, I've got a flip coming up next week as well, which is going to be, we're converting a property from a 3-bed into potentially a 5-bed.
Nice.
I don't know if it's going to work, but it's definitely going to be a 4-bed, 100%. We're just working out the floor plan and all that. Yeah. But that's going to be a beauty.
Nice.
And a proper job. And ironically, the biggest refurb I'll be looking at doing is going to be over 45 grand, which is like, yeah. So I mean, I bought my first house for 60 grand. like
that is crazy.
Mad.
That is really crazy.
Buy a new house, like.
I think with flips, just out of a side note, sometimes adding that room or driveway or something really essential. But I add just refurbing it. There's sometimes not quite enough in it.
100%.
You've got to add the value through the extra bedroom or adding something additional to the property. Do you know what I mean?
I think that's the beauty of property. You can literally force capital appreciation. You can force it. Adding a bedroom to a property, you spend £1, decrease it by 3, 4, 5. I mean, why wouldn't you?
Yeah,
if you can, that return investment's like 400%. If you're investing into one thing. And then if you add a window into an area and then you've got a new bedroom in there, which increases it by 10 grand, to me, that's just brilliant.
Yeah. I agree, man. I agree, definitely.
So get into property, go for it.
Go for it, guys. You know, it's going to change your life, really is. But just jump into it and be resilient, you know, and keep going.
And don't be risk adverse. Analyse risk. One thing that I hear a lot from potential investors who are curious is they see the risk involved. Every investment has a form of risk, everything, regardless of Bitcoin, whatever it may be. don't know why I go to Bitcoin every time, but just off the top of my head, everything has risk. Don't be risk adverse. Analyze risk. See what the facts are, numbers. Work with people who know what they're doing. You know, we've got multiple deals flowing out now. We know what's going on. We know the area demographic. We know exactly what we can look for, what makes a good investment. Mainly, we also know what to avoid. You know, non-standard construction is something that I've learned in the past 6 months to be. You know, it's not necessarily it's a bad investment initially, but if you're looking to remortgage or sell it on, it's going to be impossible. So, well, not impossible, problematic. And, you know, it's that experience that you build over time with things, you know. So, you know, I've got I've built it now where I've got a VA working for me and all these bits and bobs, but at the same time, like, we're get in contact. Gonna go on an absolute ramble now.
In COVID. Go back to COVID. If you talk about COVID, he just talks for an hour.
Screw COVID, man.
Cheers, Ryan. Thanks for coming.
Pleasure, man. Pleasure.
All right.